See this guy with the innocent, handsome face? Yeah, he's the one who's about to drop every school gang leader like dominoes. But before we dive in, my friend, grab your favorite cup of coffee, bring back the hype, and get ready for some real action. This manhwa, it's legendary, no joke. So chill, throw on your headphones, and let's get into it. The story begins with a high school student sitting alone in a restaurant, mindlessly scrolling through social media. He stumbles upon a viral post about a student named Young Jung being brutally beaten by another student at Elron High School. Suddenly, a beautiful girl approaches him and sits next to him. She leans toward him and asks him if he's here for sale. The student is surprised, realizing she's talking about the sneakers in his bag. She asks him if they're the latest releases or they're not fake or used. The student replied, shouting, "Of course not, I got it directly from Kitchener, I even showed you the receipt." The girl was surprised by his tone, but he apologized, saying, "Sorry anyway, this is the real deal, you can trust me." The student added, "I wasn't going to offer a discount, but since I yelled a little, well, fate has brought us together, so I'll deduct 10,000 won." She smiled and thanks him. Then she tried to give him the money, but he was confused, and he asked her, "Wait, 10,000 won?" and told her, "Do you think this is serious? I was just kidding. Let's forget about the whole thing." He tried to politely return the money, pushing her hand away, but she yelled deliberately. The student was surprised and asked her, "If she okay?" At that exact moment, a man appeared behind the student, grabbed his shoulders and shouted, "What did you do?" Then punches him hard in his face, knocking him to the ground and his nose bleeding. The girl acts innocent and yells at everyone, "Dear me, that boy was picking on me." The student thinks, "Wait, those are from Haesung. Was this all a trap?" The bully says, "You think you'll get away with messing with a girl?" Then he pulls a 500 yen coin from his pocket and stuffs it into the student's jacket and says, "You hurt my daughter emotionally, that makes us even." Then he puts on his sneakers in front of the student and mocks him, saying, "I'll let you go this time, since you're from Myungwang High School." And they leave and start laughing at him. And another scene in the middle of town, we see new law student appears. He starts saying, "Isn't this the right way?" He says, "Will I be late for my first day of school?" Finally, he runs into the same bullies, the one who bullied the student. The bully yells, "Are you blind? Consider yourself lucky. I'm busy today." Suddenly, the defeated student storms out of the restaurant shouting, says, "Give me back my sneakers now. Do you know how much these shoes cost? I'm not selling them to you." The bully roars, "Back off," and grabs him by the neck and tells the girl, "You can go right now. I'm going to teach this bastard a lesson and I'll came right behind you." The lost student began observing the situation, and he realized that the student was wearing the same school uniform as him. Then the bully drags the student into an empty alley and tells him, "Did you think before you acted? You'll regret this." The student says, "Please just give me back my shoes. I'm not selling them to you." The bully replied, "I wasn't even going to give you anything." Then he begins beating and humiliating him. The student kept eating punches and slap like they were snacks. Suddenly, a backpack flies out from behind, hitting one of the bullies. He turns around, only to be kicked in the face by the new student. He starts beating them with lightning speed and superior fighting skills. The bully shocked and told them to hit him. They all try to attack him themselves, but he dodges the blow and easily knocks them both to the ground. The bullied student watches in shock. He, enraged, lunges at him. But the new student fight him and skillfully dodges everything, lands an overhead punch that knocks his head back, and then finishes him off with a straight punch that knocks him unconscious against the wall. Then he steps over to the injured student, extending his hand. He asks him if he okay. The injured student asks him, "Who the hell are you?" The stranger replies, "I'm Ujie Shin." Later, Ogi goes to school. He introduces himself to class, and he says he used to study here in middle school, then he transferred to Haimyong for a while. The student whispers while staring at him, and he says, "So that's the transfer student?" He says, "Ogi?" That name sounds familiar. As Ogi walks to his seat, he realizes he's sitting right next to the same guy he helped earlier this morning. He told him, "You're the guy from this morning, right?" The student replies, "Yeah, that's me." Ogi smiles and says, "Guess this is destiny. Hope we get along." Meanwhile, the bully from earlier is getting beat up because he lost a fight to someone from Myeonwang School, Namsok, their leader. He says, "You idiots, are you sure that guy was from Myeonwang School?" He replies, "Yeah, we're sure." Namsok asks, "Is there even anyone strong in that school? Isn't Jae-gyung the top guy there?" Gyeongjun, right-hand man of Namsok's, he says, "No way. Jae-gyung runs that place." Namsok, furious, "Then who the hell beat them up?" Gyeongjun says, "Jae-gyung's suspended because of us. He wouldn't dare pull something like this." Namseok walk toward the bully angrily and say, "Anyway, it's pretty embarrassing to lose to someone from Myeongwang." He kicking the bully in the face until he lost consciousness. He says, "What a disgrace, getting beaten by someone from that school. Let's visit that school. I'm dying to know who this jerk is." Back to Ogi. Ogi mutters to himself, says he finally transferred here, but he can't just go see Sunti Yang right away. Suddenly, the student from earlier shows up again and hands Ogi a soda, thanks him for helping him this morning. Ogi says, "No problem," and thanks him for the drink. The student says he have a question and ask him if he really the first leader of the Sunrise crew. He says he can't believe meeting a middle school legend. He adds, "But I heard the first leader of Sunrise got kicked out." Ogi spits out the soda in shock. He says, "Who said that?" The student says, "Then why are you back?" Ogi says, "I'm here to destroy the Sunrise crew myself." The student, shocked, says, "Hang on. Sunrise is on a whole different level now." OJ snapped. The student tries to lighten the mood, says, "I mean, you were a beast back then, no doubt, but going against them alone, that's suicide." OG says, "Don't worry. I've been waiting to crush them for a long time." He says, "I need to send them a message. But how?" The student, nervously, "You don't have to worry about that." Suddenly, some students from Haesung High appear, including Namseok and Youngjun. Panic breaks out as everyone starts running away. The student start hiding behind Ogi and says, "They're here because of what happened this morning. I'm dead." He points at one of the guys and says, "You see the guy with the eyebrow piercing? He's one of the top fighters from Haesyong and a member of Sunrise." Ogi, excited, and says, "Perfect." Just then, one of the freshmen accidentally bumps into Ogi. The student says, "Those guys, are they first-year students?" A freshman named Cheol-sang stands up to Namseok. Namseok says, "Without Jae-gyung, this place looks pathetic." He says, "But I'll admit, you've got guts for a first year." Cheol-sang says, "I don't see a reason to be polite." Just as things heat up, a teacher shows up and starts yelling at everyone. Namseok, smirking, told Cheol-sang, "Let's take this fight somewhere else." Cheol-sang says, "I agrees." Everyone moves to the new location. Ogi and the student start hiding and watch from a distance. The fight begins. Cheol-sang tried to attack many times Namseok, but Namseok easily dodges all his attacks. Cheol-sang says, "Take your hands out." Namseok, mocking, says, "I just trying to make it fair for you. Gotta keep it interesting." Cheol-sang snapped. He tried to attack him again and punch him, but his punch misses. But it was a feint. He goes for a powerful kick to the stomach, but Namseok blocks it at the last second. Cheol-sang, taunting, says, "Fair, you arrogant punk." Ogi watches silently. He seems to know what's coming next. Suddenly, Namseok grabs Cheol-sang's leg and slams him to the ground, then kicks him hard in the stomach. Namseok, mocking, says, "Get up, stop whining. We haven't even started yet." Cheol-sang stands up again and attacks, but Namseok dodges and grabs his neck, slamming him to the ground again. Namseok tries to stomp Cheol-sang's face and tell him, "Don't get cocky, you hear me?" The student says, "Shouldn't someone step in?" He looks around, but Ogi is gone. Namseok is about to land a brutal kick, but suddenly Ogi appears and kicks Namseok in the leg, blocking his attack. Namseok says, "What's your problem?" Ogi kicks him again, straight in the face, sending him flying. Namseok, shocked, and says, "Damn it, what was that?" The bully from earlier recognizes him and says, "It's him. He's the guy who beat us this morning." Ogi, coldly, and asks him, "You're from Sunrise, right?" Namseok, dusting himself off, and says, "So you're the brat who humiliated my guys." Namseok, furious, says, "Attacking me like that? You've got guts, but no respect." But Ogi, "Tell him, just answer me. Are you with Sunrise or not?" Namseok tries to attack him, but Ogi dodges and lands a clean punch to his face, knocking him out cold. Everyone is stunned. Namseok's crew looks terrified. Ogi, shouting, "Tell the rest of Sunrise, especially that bastard Suntae,